Welcome student. Now in this video class I shall discuss and explain about this program that is counting the frequency of elements in a list. Now first of all, what is this? What is this frequency of element? To understand this we have this program, okay? Well, I'll just run and show you what we actually doing in this program. So enter list means, okay, you can write it, you can modify this, you can write enter elements in a list, okay? We can write that, and you just have to enter some element, any number in a list, and it can be of any size, okay? All right, so I will give just these um, five elements, okay? So if I run this, you're not going to see much of a difference here, as but you can see that element 23's frequency is 1, 76 frequency is 1, right? But now I rerun this program again and I change the elements, okay? So let's say what I do here is I will repeat some numbers that I have already given. Let's say I repeat 23. Okay, I repeat 23. So I just run and you will see that 23, the frequency of 23 is 2. So with this, I hope you have understood that what actually this program is doing. This program actually is counting the occurrence of that particular number, and it's telling you exactly how many times that number appears, or it is in there inside the list. So let's just run one more time, okay? And we give some other number here, okay? Let's say, and this time I give 10, 2, 3, and I give 10 again, and I give 10 again. Maybe I give 2 again, and then another 2, then 3, and let's say another 10, and another 10. Okay, so how many 10 we have? 1 2 3 4 5, and 2 we have 3, and 3, the number itself, we have 2 times I have entered, right? So let's see the output. As you can see here, 10 is 5 times. As you can see, there are 10 is I have given 5 times. So frequency actually is doing this. It's giving you 5, okay? And then for 2 is giving 3, and 3 frequency is giving 2. And you can see some other things also here, which we are going to solve it here, okay, as of why it's coming. Let us just understand how we run, how we do this program. First of all, okay, we are asking for the list. As I've said, you can say enter the elements inside the list. You can write something else also inside this, okay? Then we get the length of the list. This is very important when you want to limit your loop, okay? Just a minute. I will just now the next thing that you will see that we are doing here, we are having one variable, and this variable actually we are going to use it for counting the frequencies, okay? And then I, of course, we are going to use in our loop. Now you will see that in the next line what we are doing is we are giving we are just printing the original list. As you can see in the output, it's printing the original list, which means whatever the user have entered here, it will just display with this line here, okay, that we have given. LST is the list that we have taken. So as simple as that. And of course, if you see something like this, okay, count equal I equal 0, it means I'm giving 0 to I, and of course again that same 0 I'm also giving to count, okay? So both count and I will have the original value pointing, which means it was going to point to 0, right? So it has 0, okay? Then uh, we start a while, and a while loop, as I've said, we are using a counter variable I for this, and we are saying as long as it is less than the length, because we start from 0. So the length based on the numbers that you've entered, let's say you enter 5, then length will have 5, okay? So I will start from 0, so of course it's going to be less than length, but then we are also incrementing it. This is very important, as I've just to repeat again, when you have a loop, you always need initialization, then condition, and incrementation. So this is initialization, and this is your condition, and this is your incrementation, right? Then we also have something called element here. As you can see, this is another variable, okay? what we are trying to put here is the value which is in this index. Now first of all, I is 0. LST 0 would mean this number, okay, because we have 0 here, right? So it's going to hold this 10, okay, where it will hold here in this element, okay. Now why do we need that? Okay, so as before I go forward with the coding, let me just try to explain to you what logic are we trying to use here. Here what we are trying to do is we are storing this 10, okay, 10 in one variable, and that variable will have 10, right? And then what we are trying to do is we are checking and all these numbers, okay, is that 10 equal to? Now of course in the second time it's not going to be equal to, okay, then here also is not going to be equal to, but this time it's going to be equal. That's when I will, that count was 0, I will make it count plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Of course, as you can see here, okay, we are going to do that, okay. What we are trying to do is count is equal to 1, right? So that 1 is already before, or it's already 1, okay. And here what we are trying to do is we are creating another loop. Now this loop is important for what? Now see, we are trying to capture this, okay. Let me just enter some very um, some simple elements, okay, so that you can, yeah, this to this 7 and 90, okay. So what you're going to see here is that on the 23, okay, will be 3 times, right? Now how? We are trying to store this in element variable, okay. So element will have 23, then, and why we are getting the 23? Because we said it's equal to this index 0, right? Now which line? This line, okay, when we are saying elements equal to LST I, because I is 0, right? So let me just do one thing to for you to understand it better. I will also put it here, okay. So what we're trying to do here, this would mean, see, I'll just give, so this would mean element LSTI I is 0, right? So, and this exactly would mean also, this would mean what? LST0 is 23. So here you are, element is having 23, but then I have to compare with these 45, 20, again all these elements, okay, because we do not know, 23 may happen to be here also, we do not know. So as a program we have to check all these other elements, but you will see that these other elements are starting from 1, index 1, because this is 0, so this is 1, right? Then this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So hence, to check with these others I need something which will point at 1, then 2, and something which will also change from 1, it will change to 2, to 3, to 4, and to 5, okay, so on, so that I can check this element. So that's why what we are doing is we are having another loop, and in this loop we are starting from that particular value, okay, that is I. Of course, because of course after incrementing I was what? 0, it's not, but after this line is going to be 1, right? So which means J will start from, I hope you got it, it will start from 1. So who is pointing at these other indexes? J. J is pointing at 1, and you will also see that J will change, okay, because it is in a for loop, and a loop will always go to 1, 2, 3, remember, right? So it's, J will increment on its own, okay, till that length. Hence J will hold this part, okay, it will hold 1, then it will go to 2, 3, 4, whatever values is there, it, we can now check with this number that we're holding first, okay. And who's holding the 23 again? Is the element, right? So that's why inside the J loop we will see if element is equal to LSTJ. Now remember LSTJ, now right now it is 1 because J is 1, right? So it means LST 1, right? And in LST1, according to this example, we have 45. This is 0 again, this is 1, right? So, which means this line again, it would mean which number? 45, okay? So, which means you're trying to check if element is equal to 45. And element is what? Is that 23. If 23 is equal to 45, then you'll do something. But unfortunately 23 is not equal to 45, right? So it's not going to enter here, right? It will not enter there. Where will it go? The next code. It will go to the next iteration. Yes, that is j now will become 2. You got it, right? Now into what do we have? Into we have another 23, you see? So which means now this 2 would mean 23. Yes, so now if 23 is equal to 23, yes, it is equal to, that's when count you're saying plus 1, and you see that in count we already made it 1. So now count will have what? With this code here, count will become 2. You got it. So that's how you get it. You get 223. Fine. And again, after this, you will see that the loop after implementing count. Let me just put this as comment. Okay. So it's 2. Now, after this, once it's finished this, what happened? It goes to the next again. J now will become 3. Okay. So J will become 3. Now let's see in 3 what do we have? Yes, we have 23 again. Okay. That is again, I'm repeating 0, 1, 2, 3. So in 23, we again have 23, right? So again, it is equal to, now count again plus 1, you see, okay? Count is equal to count plus 1. This means that, right? So we have incremented again count to 3, okay? And then again, j will go to 4. Now j will become 4, okay? Now when j become 4, now what is in 4? Okay, let's just check again. In 4 we have 7. Now in 7, that's 7 is it equal to 23? No. So again it's not going to enter here. So count will not increment. You see that? It will not enter here. So right? Then it goes to the next again iteration, and this time j will become 5. And again in 5 what do we have? 19. Okay, so which means again we are checking if 23 is equal to 90, which is not. Again, it will not come to count. Fine. Now, once it's done, it has done the counting. This will not just end here. Okay. What if again we have some other values? Okay. We have some other values here, uh, which means again this 45 will start. Okay, the logic is like this. Again 45 will be given to element. Okay, and element now will not hold 23, it will hold 45, but it will now check that 45 with all these others. Okay, right? And again, as I've explained just now, everything will be check, it will check now 45. Okay, that's because now you would say why the element was 23, how come it became 45? How did it go? Now look up here. We said element is equal to LSTI. I was 0 that time, but then after the, this is nested loop, if you still remember, this inner loop has finished. Okay, let's check that 23. Okay, 23 till the end with 90. After j loop finishes, remember, then it comes out to the outer loop, and the outer loop gets incremented. Okay, I was 0 that time, now I will become 1, right? And then when I say element is equal to LST1, it means that I am pointing to this. So that's how I will have, oh sorry, the element now will have 45. Okay, now when it comes 45, the count again, I'm starting from 1. Do you see? Right? Because now I will check for 45, the frequency of 45. And again, when count is equal to 1, okay, it starts fresh from 1. And of course, again, we have incremented I, and I in this line, what it will be? It's going to be, I will now become 2. You see? Because here it's 1, right? I, yes. So I will become 2 here, and then when I say for j in range I, which means j is starting from 2 till the length, which also means that now j will point from here, not from here anymore. Okay, start from 2. Do you see? From 2, then it will go to 4, to 5, to 6. Okay, which means this 45, which is in element, will be checked with this, with this, with this, and with this. Okay, so again, let's just see how this whole thing starts, how this logic is. We have I starting from 0, we assigned it to the element, then we check that element with all these other numbers. Okay, and who is holding these other numbers? J. Okay, we are getting all these numbers with the help of j, because we set j from 1, then it goes to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. Okay, that's the length, right? Then again I will start from 1, and then element will hold this, and again with the help of j we will have access to all these 4, and j, remember, then it will start from 2. You see, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Okay, again in the next loop I will become 1, 2 now. Okay, it will become 2, as you can see in this line. We've already incremented. So when it starts here now, it will start from 2. So when I say LST, I will mean 2. Then after in 2, you will have another number. Okay, that is 23. Okay, so hence you're getting again this one, 23. Okay, it's checking again from here with this, everything, right? So why are we getting all this? You understand now. Basically, why then 23? Again we're getting 2, because it holds this 23, and then it counts again, and it sees that there are 2 from here. Okay, if you don't want this, that it will count this, because you want this total only, no, 23 only 3, then of course you have to have something which will limit that. Okay, which means here when you start your loop or something. Okay, when you have counted here, you just check if it's equal to, you just give some condition where it's not going to count anymore. Okay, it will not count anymore, because 23, you are done with 23, so no point of again counting it. Okay, so if you think you have a better logic as of how to eliminate that, this part, okay, I would like you to try. Okay, as of, we should not get this 2 anymore. Okay, which means I'll get this 23, frequency 3, 45, 1. Now why I'm trying to show you this, so that you understand how the flow of the program goes. It means element will hold this first one, then it will check with all the others, and it finds all these 2, so it got 3. Then it holds this, again it check with all, since there's none of that which is equal to this 45, so it remains as 1, because here before we start the j loop, you will see that I've made count 1, so 45 will become 1. But again, as I've said, the logic says that it goes again to the next one. Okay, and then that element will hold 23, right? And again it will check with others, so it will say 1 plus this one, will get 2, so that's why it is printing this. Again it holds this, again it check with others, so that's why you got this one. Okay, and again you get this, okay, and this in element, and that's how you got 1. So if you don't want these 2, which are actually, it should not be there. Okay, so what exactly would you do? Okay, means, yeah, if you have understood the program now, okay, that since j will start from that point, and element, and element will always be given to the next. Okay, so if you don't want, of course 45 fine, but again when it become 2, you will see that it becomes 23, which I've already done the counting, so I don't want that. So what do we do? Okay, so that it should not count again the number which we have already counted. I would like you to use some logic, at least from your side also, to think. Okay, this program works fine. Okay, it's just that why should we again count this 23? You understand? Now of course, like, to understand the flow of the program, it's very important that I give in this way, so that you understand that, okay, I will be for element, so element will hold, and then j will keep on incrementing in this way. Okay, again I will hold this, element will hold this, and it will check with the rest. Then again element will hold this and then it will check with the rest. Again element will hold. So in this way what happens here is that 23 is being counted again, which we don't want. Okay, so other than this, this program works fine. Okay, and you can also easily understand the flow of the program. But if suppose you've seen that you have already checked with 23 and you do not want it to be repeated. Okay, so what do you do? What are the, which line, what will you use? Can you give something in the if statement, okay, to eliminate that so that it doesn't count it anymore? Okay, it doesn't print it again. Okay, and you will see that also it's printing else. Okay, the else part is after the for. Okay, if you can think of some logic here, so else part is printing that all that you're seeing here, it's done here. All this element 23 frequency 3, element 45 frequency 1, where are you printing? You're printing here, which means after j, you start from the first element. Okay, when you start this element, then it enters the j loop. When j loop finishes, okay, after it has been compared with all this, okay, see what happened. After it compares with all this thing, it has counted 23, it got 3. After that it goes to that line, if you see. Okay, it goes to the else part. Remember else, when does it come to this line? When this loop, because it's not a else for while, you see, it is the else for j. Okay, so if you finish j loop, it will definitely go to the else first and print this. After it prints this element, that 23 frequency is 3, after that only then it starts again the while loop. Okay, then again it goes to j loop. Then j loop will do all this till the end, again. Once it finish, again it comes to the else part and it prints this. The next was 45, right? Then again it starts from the while loop, and again another 23 comes in element. Okay, and j loop starts again. Once it finished this j loop, again it goes to the else part and again it prints at 23. You see, 23, element 23 frequency count now will be 2. That's how you got this. Okay, that's how you got this also. Okay, so if you can think, it's a very slight changes if you can think, but I will appreciate any of the logic you use. It can be a very lengthy one also, no problem, but actually the slight change if you can make here, it will eliminate the use of, it will not print that 23 again. Once you have done checking, it will not do. Okay, so I would like you to please try this, and then if you get it, you please show it to me. Okay, just below. Okay, just a line where you can, if not the entire program, just one line also, show it below as a comment. Okay, after you've seen this video. So with this I come to an end. Thank you.